Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for property. I'm your host, Strip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. And in today's video, we are going to get into the facts regarding when drip moon and all the moon boys out there saying drip to 50 to 100 or 25. What is the actual realistic price? And what does it take with the facts and the data based off of the historic data that we have? So we're going to get into those in this video. So if you like this kind of content, you know the drill, like and subscribe. So what I did was basically run some numbers and put into a spreadsheet as always, so that you guys can see how this was captured and then kind of formulate your own opinion about whether or not this is realistic and how difficult it will be to get there. So shout out to the people that run the Dune Analytics, because it would not be possible without it. So the first thing I did was look at this chart, because for some odd reason, I still can't pull this up on BSC scan. The analytics side here is not working like it's supposed to. It sucks. So I could have better data if I can get it from here. But instead I had to come to this chart and kind of zoom in and whatnot. So in this chart, we show the drip balance, right? Like for this day, for example, 39,881, and what the price of drip was 72.09, and I believe this was getting it from the DEX. And we know that this is pretty accurate because if we come here, the last day, it's hard for me to get that. It was right there, 671 7,778 in the BNB, and the contract balance 353,520. So let's take a look at those numbers. So 777, that's pretty close because it does take a little while to update. Contract balance 353,000. So we do know that this is relatively accurate depending on when it's pulled in, and up here it actually tells you somewhere about the delay. So we can definitely use this data to our advantage to run these numbers. So what I did is I was only looking at, because mainly this is for the moon boys and the people in my comments and all that stuff. They're like 50 to 100, 50 to 100. And I was like, okay, well, what will it take to get to $50? So what I did is basically gather a couple points on the graph of $50, $100, 150 or so, then the 200 high, and then back down, right? So I just basically extracted that. And then I also went over to CoinGecko to get the price of BNB at that time, because we know to find the drip price is basically circulating supply divided by or times the number of drip token, the current price of BNB. I may have said that wrong, but you guys know what I mean. It's all about circulating supply. So I actually have this chart here of the points I extracted, right? So from that Dune Analytics, we get these drip prices, and we have this drip supply from the same Dune Analytics chart. Then I also got this BNB balance from that Dune Analytics chart. And then I went to CoinGecko to get the BNB price, right? So these are, this is the only thing that could be a little bit different, which causes this differential over here. But let's get into exactly on the chart what I'm doing, because depending on when CoinGecko reported the BNB price, it's gonna definitely cause some sways in the way that I'm calculating this. But the most that I saw was negative 11% or 14%, but on average it was actually a negative 1%. So we'll just say plus or minus 2% error. So fairly close, right? So anyway, so what I did here to get the amount of total dollar value was basically take the BNB price that I got from CoinGecko times the BNB balance, right? It's simple. That's exactly how you calculate how much dollar value you have in BNB. You guys already know that. If you have one BNB and the BNB price is 551, you have one BNB balance, you have a total of $551, right? I'm not doing anything crazy there. No voodoo math. Then to get the estimated price, remember this price comes from Dune Analytics. I wanted to see if the numbers that I got from the BNB from CoinGecko and that drip supply would come out to the correct amount. Remember, this drip supply is this number here on the chart, or the native DEX, or BSC scan the number here. If you could go to the analytics, which I said it's not working for me, you'll be able to go there. Maybe I'm doing it wrong all of a sudden every time I record a video, but it used to be an actual chart down here that showed the contract balance, and it's been not working for me the last couple of days. Maybe it'll pull up now. No, so I still get this weird thing, and I don't know why. So anyone in the comments, let me know what's going on if you're getting the same thing. But this used to be how I could see this similar chart here in the BNB balance. But now instead, I'm getting the BNB balance from here. So again, something super simple math. So anyway, so to get that new estimate, I took the amount dollar value, right? I told you I got that. That's just the BNB price times the BNB balance. It gives me an amount dollar value. So now I have this, and then I'm taking this and dividing this by the drip supply that Dune Analytics said we had. And for this day, it gave me $52.54. So that was a 7% difference. On this day, very different. It was a 14% difference. But again, remember, it just depends on when the BNB value was captured on CoinGecko. Maybe if I went to CoinMarketCap, I could get a different one or whatever somewhere else. But like I said, for the most part, they were relatively close. And when you average them out, it was actually really close. And maybe it had something to do with the time, how far back it went, but I don't know. So anyway, I did that for all of these. And the average margin of error came out to be 1.21%, right? So then I said, all right, let's get the drip average price. So I took all of these numbers that I had and they just took a simple average, right, between here. So this gives $106. So it's very close to a $100 drip price. So it's like, all right, this is a great number to use as our benchmark. And to get $106 drip price, that means on average, the drip supply was 39,000, and on average, the BNB price was $432. This is important. Remember, right now we are in somewhat of the bottom of the bear market, and BNB is a fraction of this right now. It's at 295. So to see these numbers that we saw, we had a much higher BNB price. So that made drip higher because the sword and shield protocol. And this also meant that we had on average a 9,000 BNB supply. And that amount came out to $3,913. And then when I reverse engineered it again, that gave me a $99.38 drip price. So again, right at about that $100 mark. So we can use these numbers. We'll just say $40,430 drip price and 9,000 BNB as basically what we need to get to a $100 drip price. Now we're not going to see $430 in this bear market. So instead, what I did is use different BNB prices that we are more likely to see in this bear market, maybe even lower than that. And this is stating, so the 40,000 that I came up with is because that's what we had here. So I said, okay, if we had 40,000 in our circulating supply of the actual contract, that means we have removed, as of today, 350,000. And this means it's all done at once as well. So in order for this to work, literally all 210,000 would have to come out relatively at the same time without any sell pressure putting these tokens back into the contract. So there's a lot of variables here, but you can still roll with the numbers to understand how it works. So I just said, okay, we need 40,000 in our contract balance. Remember, that is going to be this number here. So basically reducing it from 352,000 right now, removing 310,000 from it to get that number to work out. So that gives us 40,000. And then I said, what if the BNB price was 250, 275, 300, 325? So that means the supply of BNB would be 9,000, 8,900, 8,600, yada, right? And that would give us a $56 price, 61, 66, 70, and 75. So that would be relatively feasible because that would only cost $1.3 million. I say only, but I believe there's definitely a large amount of capital sitting on the sidelines now. And again, remember, in order for this to happen, it would have to all come relatively at the same time without any sell pressure, putting tokens back into the contract. And they have to be purchased from the native DEX. So if we get, half of this and it goes on the pancake swap or the drip liberation contract, you're not going to see this price appreciation the same way. So in order for drip to, moon, we need this all to come from the current circulating supply in the contract. So that's where these numbers represent. And the supply needs to be a lot less, so to speak, if we have a higher BNB price. So that is possible. How quickly it would get there, I don't know. But also remember, if it goes up here, there's going to be some sell pressure for sure from maxed out accounts. Like this is life-changing money here if you're pulling out and your wallet is maxed. So again, my thesis is that this is not very likely because even though $1.3 million is relatively easy to get into the contract, there's going to be sell pressure. So for every amount of sell pressure, you're going to have exponential amount to carry it back up while people are selling. And maybe the pairing and putting it into the farms and all that stuff will help, but I don't think this will change until the layer 2 and the incentives to keep drip in the faucet are there, and maybe the raffle or whatever that's going to be, and primarily the lending. But anyway, let's look at another scenario. So here's another scenario. If we only removed 100K, what would that do to the price? So in this scenario, removing only 100K, and I just realized that this is actually wrong up here. That should be 310, but it's still going to be the correct amount because what I did was subtract this from this to get that. So the math is still there. I just had the wrong dollar value or amount there listed. But just so you understand the math, I'm basically saying the absolute value of this cell minus this one. So that's where it gives me 210,672, and then divided by this price, B19, and then plus, so that would give me the actual BNB amount it increased, and then add it to this existing BNB balance. So that's where this comes up. So it's still right, in case any of you were wondering about that. So all right, let's move down to this one. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel, as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you. So in here, I said we only are removing 100K. So I basically just made 250K here and then ran the same equation, right? So that's removing roughly 100K. It's like 100,172 or 672, sorry, right? So that would give us an $8 drip price all the way down to an $11 drip price. So this is feasible for sustainability. I think we could definitely see that, and more realistic, but that's still going to cost us $650,000, and that money has to come externally from new capital coming into the system. I already showed you how like 10 million or so can be locked up on the drip BUSD side, but that just solidifies basically the floor of drip the same way the reservoir does because there's less volatility. But in order for this price appreciation to happen, it has to come over to the native DEX, and eventually it will if people are actually getting into the drip liberation contract and we're seeing the pancake swap BUSD pair or price on pancake swap going up slowly, then it'll cause an arbitrage opportunity on the native DEX, and then yes, people will definitely be coming here. But the main point of this, why this I don't think this is realistic, at least this scenario, is because this requires people buying from the native DEX, and that means the new people who are not being marketed to right now will have to make their way through the animal farm and find out about drip and get over to the drip native DEX, drip faucet, purchase, stake, all that stuff. And I don't know if there's still 650,000 from the existing community that would purchase. I believe they've gotten in as much as they want at this stage, but I don't know. This is definitely a low number in regards to totality, but I don't know how realistic that would be to get that done. And then next, I said, what is the absolute most bullish? How can we get to 100? And basically to get to $100 drip floor, we're roughly around here at this $300 price, but this is the lowest token supply we ever had on the contract. And again, I got that from here, looking at, from here, looking at this number at the top, basically tells me we had right there balance and drip 27,694, and that gave us at that point a $201 drip price. Now, if we do the exact same thing now, we're not gonna have a $200 drip price because BNB is about half the price it was at that stage, or maybe like 0.33% or 33% less, however you want to phrase it. But anyway, if we did do that, so if we removed 250,000 or something like that, what's the math? 323,000 roughly, 323,000 tokens from the supply, that would cost us $2.1 million. And here's the new BNB balance. And we would then have a $100 price for it, but guarantee you're gonna have sell-offs at this stage till the cows come home. So the whole point of this video, I don't see this happening anytime soon. There is way too much sell pressure from maxed out wallets that will keep it more realistically, in my opinion, here. Because as we start to get to these I still think we'll get to triple digits. So I think what we're going to do is bounce between 10 to $20, maybe even 25. We'll trade sideways between there. And that's it. We're going to hold that floor, because $25, even for me, because my average DCA price now is less than 6. That's a 4x on my money. So I will be taking profits. And there are people that have a much lower DCA price than me. So they're like, they could be up 8x or 10x at a $20 drip price. So there's gonna be way too much sell pressure for us to see these numbers here. So I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's a very unlikely scenario in my opinion, because like I just told you, that sell pressure is gonna be coming. Now, once Forex has the borrow and lending and the layer 2, where he's incentivizing people to not sell their drip, and they're able to take dividends or profits or lend it out or whatever, the same way he's designed the animal farm, then of course you're gonna have less sell pressure, and this is likely to take place. But just realize we have a lot of tokens right now, and I also believe we're gonna see this number increase dramatically as we get closer to the farms. It's already up higher than when I started doing this. It was 350, and it's now like 352, just 353, just from me capturing the data and trying to get around to put it out there. Let's change that 353 just for the sake of the video. So it changed these numbers a bit. Let's see, 756, 38, 46. So not much, but it does make a difference. So I believe we're going to see a 400,000 drip supply until the farms unpause, maybe even for 25 or so, which makes this even harder to sustain. And who knows what BNB is doing at that time. So if you see the comments, the moon boys that are delusional about us having a triple digit drip floor or even $50, at least now you'll know what it'll take to sustain it. It doesn't take much to hit it, but it's going to take a hell of a lot of work to sustain it, because the sell pressure will be coming in. And disclaimer, I will be selling. I'm actually taking profits literally now, but like four to six sells a month. So very conservative, just to pay the leverage I took out on drip. So I'm already in profits at this stage. So I will definitely be taking them any double digit or higher. So I believe others will be doing the same, but who knows, Actually, let me add one more thing, because I know I'm going to get this kind of hate in the comments. Drip does not need to moon for you to be in profits. So let me just clarify that. So that's why I said I'd be taking profits. So drip, as Ray said, drip goes sideways, we're rich. Drip go up, we're rich faster. Drip go down a little longer to be rich. So drip does not need to moon. We do not need to see all these other numbers that I pointed out. We just need drip to trade sideways. And I believe the $10 to $15 range, $20 range is excellent for drip. And that's exactly what I 100% believe we will attain with the farm and the V2 launch, or the layer 2. And we don't need to see this. So I just wanted to explain in this video what it would take to see this. But again, we don't need it. I'm not looking for it. Just want to show the numbers to help those that want the facts versus just the moon boy status. All right, till next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya.